Hello, friends. Welcome back to GrooveSoul FM. I'm going to take my glasses off. We are getting comfy and cozy today. This is one of the segments that I plan on doing on the channel regularly. So if you are new here or just finding me, hello, welcome in. Welcome into my very cozy, slow, spacious digital space. And then if you've been rocking with me, thank you so much for coming back. Hey, friend. So, I was saying this is one of the segments that I plan to do regularly over here in this little digital corner. Thinking of maybe calling it like the listening room or something like that. But this may be a little unorthodox for YouTube, possibly, but we're going to listen to music together. And because we're on YouTube and I can't really play music here that is copyrighted, we're going to do like a little experiment with listening together, but in our separate spaces. So we'll see how this segment goes. I'm excited. Yeah, I like the listening room. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments if that's resonating. But I'm going to share. So if you've been with me for a while, or if you are connected with me on Instagram, you know that creating and curating playlists are a spiritual practice for me. It is something that I wouldn't even say that I take seriously, because I do. However, I think a better way to say it is it's something that is not for play for me. It is fun, but I also know that I'm creating worlds with the music that I curate on these playlists. And I'm very intentional about everything that I place, where I place it, the transitioning, and making sure that there's a transmission, right, coming through with the playlist. And so I call these worlds that I create. And I'm always so excited when I spend the time with the playlist and then release it out into the world. And if you've been with me for a while, if you've gone to my Spotify, which I am GrooveSoul FM on Spotify, so you can go ahead and connect with me there. Of course, I'll have the link in the description box. But I used to have like 80 plus playlists just there for the public. And if you go back, I actually have taken a lot of them off. And it's because I am like revamping and redoing a lot of the playlists. I want the worlds, right, that are public and able for you to access to be things that I love now. And a lot of the playlists that I had up there, I made back in 2019 or 2020 or 2021. And a few of them I still love and actually won't touch at all. But some of them I'm like, my ear has evolved. The sound that I really like and that I want to share with everyone has also evolved. And so let's let's switch it up. Let's change things up a little bit. Let's refine, this world. So a lot of them are gone. But I say all of that to say one of the playlists that I recently created back in December of 2025, I love. I love this playlist, and I spent a lot of time like living in it and being with it and sitting with it before I shared. And so every time I listen to it now, I can feel the intention that I put into it. And I can very vividly, clearly see the world, right, that was created with these songs together. And the name of that playlist is called Dissolving Into Dusk. And I made this world in winter, obviously, and it is a devotional to the dark season. And that is what winter is. It is the dark season. It's when we have more darkness than we have light. And uh, it's a time that really invites us inward, not only inside of our homes, but also inside of ourselves. It is a time to uh, do a couple of things: to slow down, to prioritize rest, to introspect, to hibernate, mm, to reflect, but it's also a time to celebrate, to experience joy, and know that joy still can exist in the dark. Um, and just kind of to allow those two things and two realities to dance together. And so, dissolving into Dusk was created with that season in mind, and specifically the part about celebrating even in the dark season. And dusk just happens to be, I think, one of my favorite times of day. There's a couple of times that are my favorite. Is that time just before the sun is rising, like you can see, which they also call dusk, right? In the morning, dawn. That's dawn. Dawn and dusk. Just before, we're like, it's still dark, but that light is kind of coming in. And then dusk, where the sun is going down and the sky is lit up. It's like that chakra cleanse because you get all those different colors, and then it goes into the darkness. And so, dissolving into dusk just felt like the perfect title for the season and just the energy that I was kind of in with making this playlist. And it really started off with a lot of African artists, specifically a lot of South African artists. And it was just giving me this feeling. There's a lot of the drum and the percussion, right? Were just kind of guiding me beginning this. And then the sound of the voices are so unique. Like when there's actually music with voices, it's so unique. And then it kind of rolled into this jazz fusion, soulful, warm kind of vibe. And it all, I imagine like folding ingredients for a cake or something. It all kind of just folded together and just went together perfectly. And again, I think it's just a perfect mix of finding that stillness and that introspection, but also relishing in that celebration and that joy. And so that's really the, I'd say, the texture and the atmosphere of dissolving into dusk. And that is a playlist I want to share with y'all today. And it's going to be less about talking about the artists and more about tapping into the senses and to the body and to the texture and like the more sensory reflection of what the playlist brings up. And we're going to listen to 3 songs today together. So there's going to be a time where, you know, I want this to be a space where we cultivate community. I don't always want it to be just sending y'all off to listen by yourself because I can't play music here. Let's sit together like you're in the living room with me. So I am going to put my headphones on when it's time. I'm going to put my headphones on and I am going to cue, like I'll count us in 1, 2, 3. You're going to press play on your end. I'm going to press play on my end. And I'll be here listening with you. And then I'll come back. I'll kind of share my reflection, and maybe you write down your own reflection or share a reflection of the feeling, the felt sense of what the song kind of pulls forward for you. You can write that in the comments or whatever it is. And we'll just do that for 3 songs. And then we'll kind of close. And y'all, I decided I'm going to play about 20 to 30 seconds of each song before we listen. So I will cue that in the video. I'm really excited for you to be here and create a culture of how we listen to music and how we are with music, and not so much worried about who the artist is, what genre they fit in, what's the history, because we'll get to that in other segments. But the listening room is really for listening. It's for listening, it's for feeling, it's just for having someone to listen with and feel like someone's there with you, listening to the same song. While we're doing that, I'm actually going to be drinking, it's cherry juice that I get from Trader Joe's, and I'm drinking it out of this beautiful mug. This is actually a mug from handmade by makers in Mexico, and I don't know where exactly in Mexico. It was mentioned to me, but child, it's been too long since they told me. But it's so beautiful. And I actually got this at a farmer's market in Lubbock, Texas. I might put this little blanket on. And I got my water down here as well. So, what I'm going to have you do, so there's a couple of things. One, if you're watching me on your phone, do you have a laptop or a tablet or a TV or something that you can queue up? Um, Dissolving Into Dusk, whether it's on Spotify. So the playlist lives on Spotify. The playlist also lives on YouTube, like it's under my playlist tab. So if there's like another screen you can open it up on, I want you to take some time to get prepared. So maybe you can pull it up on a PC or a tablet. Maybe you're watching me on the TV and your phone, you do have access to your phone. But we're going to take a few minutes to let you get prepared so you can pull up the playlist um, or just the song. So, the first song that we're going to be starting with is actually, we're going to do River by Modha. And Modha is spelled Modha. And it's called River. I'm going to let you can pause here, get yourself together, and then come back when you're ready and we'll listen together. Let's first listen to a few seconds of the song. All right, so you got everything together. So I got my headphones on. We'll cue us in on three. And on three, we're both going to start the song. And we'll just be here listening together. Come back, give a quick little touchy feely reflection. And then we'll go into the next song. And remember, we're going to listen to three songs together. All right, so let's go. So what I'll do is I'll say 1, 2, 3, play. And then when I say play, press play. Okay. 1, 2, 3, play. I'm always so energized after listening to that song. For me, it feels like a portal. It feels like it's taking me somewhere, like it is the soundtrack on a journey to a different place or a different world. I always feel settled and calm, yet energized. I feel that song in my chest. And there is something so special about when a flute is incorporated into a song. It always brings an ethereal, spiritual uh, impact to a song. And I love Modha and everyone that they collaborated with for creating a texture to that song that praised percussion, praised the drum, and allowed the diaspora to come through in a way that felt very grounding. And my favorite part is when that flute is perfection. Let's take a deep breath. Pause the video if you want to just sit and reflect some more, or if you want to type something in the comments, or you feel like you have more to kind of sit with the song. And we're going to move on to the next. I think the next song that we're going to spend some time with is, I'm going to pronounce it as Umabukisa. And I believe that is a Zulu word. I don't know exactly what it means. And what I've found is that a lot of times when music is in a different language, I often don't try to seek out a translation. Sometimes I will if I'm really, really curious. But sometimes I love the feeling of not even understanding, but allowing myself to um, create what the song may be about simply because of how it makes me feel and what comes through when I listen to it, and just allowing that to be enough. And if I feel super curious, I'll go and, see if I can translate the lyrics. But Umabukisa is by Leah Butler, who is a South African artist. I will mention one thing about genre. She mentions that her genre that she is creating is called uh, Neo Zulu. So like Neo Soul, right? But Neo Zulu. So it's like mixing the um, cultural music with like Neo Soul. Oh, I love it. Again, let's listen to a few seconds of the song. Cue up Umabukisa on the playlist, and I'm going to count us in, okay? Remember, it's 1, 2, 3, play. 1, 2, 3, play. Mm, her voice. You know what I mean? Like, her voice is so unique. Of course, there are other artists that her voice is akin to. I feel cradled and swaddled by her voice, by the groove, right, of the music and the instruments that they decided to include in there. And I don't know what sis was saying, but I felt almost a string of confidence come over my body. Like I felt like I'm that bitch. And I don't even know what she's saying, but I feel very I'm that bitch listening to that. And the beautiful ways that she created so much spaciousness when she kind of slowed down and made us ride her ad libs. So it felt grounded and earthy, but I also felt like water. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. Take a time, take a moment to just like reflect, but it just felt like a groove, you know? I felt, uh, uh. Y'all don't pay me no mind. We going on to the next one, okay? The last song that we are going to play, this by far is just one of my favorite songs, period, of all time, period. And I don't say that a lot about modern songs or songs that have recently been released, but this is one of my favorite songs because of how it makes me feel. And we'll talk about that when I come back, but it's how it makes me feel. It's called Pour le Moment by Soul Set. And we're just going to play it. And I'm curious of how it makes you feel. What does it bring up? Is there an era of music that is brought up for you when you listen to this? So we're just going to get started. So it's called Pour le Moment, Lemoment by Soul Set. So Solset. I'm going to give you a second to cue it up. Pause if you need to. And I'm going to count us in. One, two, three, play. Here's a few seconds of the song. One, two, three, play. I see the colors blue and green. I feel like I'm looking at the waves come in and away from the shore. I feel like I'm at the beach. I feel like I am at the beach and the sun is setting. It was a beautiful day. We enjoyed so much good food and fresh juice and a lot of laughter. And then we came to the beach, we laid out a blanket. We've got all these like beautiful snacks and we're just sitting and watching the sunset. People are dancing on the beach and it just feels so damn good. The song feels like this song feels like the way I want my life to feel. And I think that is why I love it so much. It is a musical representation of the sensuality, the flow, the spaciousness, the tempo, the feeling that comes into my body when I think about how I would love my life to feel. And I feel really good right now. I love that we closed with that because I feel like I'm floating on a cloud and I feel lifted, you know. Mm. Deep breath. I'm so curious of how these three songs separately made you feel, but also how listening to them essentially together made you feel. And it's kind of giving you a little preview of the playlist, right? There's so much more on there, but these were three songs that I really love and that I'm glad that I added to this world. And the playlist in total is an hour and 5 minutes. So this is something that you can play if you're on a long drive, right? Maybe there's a commute and you want to listen to something that gives you energy but also helps you to calm before you get to your destination. If it's home or wherever it is, play this. You can play this when you're sitting in your backyard or on your patio or your balcony when the day is ending, maybe on a Sunday or a Saturday or something. But you can also play it early in the morning. You can really play it at any time of the day, but those are just some suggested times that kind of match with the energy of the playlist. And I am so curious to hear about your experience, um, your feels, but also your thoughts about spending time with this world. Come back to the comments. I truly love to have conversation with y'all about the music and to share myself, my experience with things. So I'm so glad that we kind of experimented today with this. How did you feel about the segment? Did it feel good? Did it feel weird? Was it awkward? All of those things. I'm curious, but I'm so glad and I appreciate you so much for being here as I experiment with what works and what feels good and and what makes you feel welcome as well. And I hope that you go into the day just feeling a little more inside your body because you took a moment to just sit and listen and be with music, not really worried about anything else, but just feeling and listening and just spending some time with yourself and music and allowing that to be a ritual, allowing that to be a sensual practice, allowing that to be a presence practice for yourself, and to, trusting me to guiding you on the journey. So we will spend many more moments in this living room together, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.